Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with me, your host. My name is Chad Medved. It's very nice to meet you. So first thing is first, I'd like to say shout out to Turner Dairy Farms, the creators of Turner Premium Iced Tea. And, I appreciate them for standing behind me and being a proud sponsor of the podcast. We're proudly fueled by Turner's over here. And, I'm grateful to have a company like that be willing to want to work with me. They're a big deal. 90 years old, 90 years in the game, a staple in the city of Pittsburgh, and I'm proud to be able to say that I get to work with Turner's and the people over there. Great people doing some really good stuff. They got some new products that they've been pumping out the past. They don't stop pumping out new stuff. You got their bottled cold brew, the cold brew haha that's on shelves now. You could find it is, they got 3 flavors. They got vanilla, mocha, and just sweet enough. That's a cold brew coffee drink made with Turner products. And they also just released their brand new limited edition milk flavor, which is chocolate peanut butter. I have not yet found it yet, but I'm on a hunt for it. So if I see it, I'm going to drink the hell out of it. But definitely go to wherever carry Turner definitely go to whatever store you go to that carries Turner products and check out what they got there. If you want the cold brew haha or the limited edition milk, ask them for it. Ask the people who work there to see if you can get it ordered in. They might just tell you no, but they might get it ordered in. I requested something at a gas station one time, and the guy ordered it, so I was pumped about it. But anyway, the reason is everyone is here. So, if you know me, you probably know who I am. You've heard this podcast if you've listened before. I'm pretty transparent on the podcast. I try to be as authentic as I can be in this world of bullshit, I guess. And usually I speak with people that are doing great things in our city. I speak with them about what they do, how they got to that point in life, and kind of what their journey was along the way. And I love doing that. I love hearing people's stories. I love hearing about their lives. I love hearing about the opportunities they've taken. And I love hearing about, just the adventure that they go through to get to that point that they are at. Because usually if I talk to someone, they're doing something cool that has brought them on my radar, whether you be like a entrepreneur, a restaurant owner, whatever you do, whatever your lane is. I've definitely noticed you somehow. And it's really incredible to hear people's paths up to that point. And obviously with the virus that's been going around in the world, I haven't had the opportunity to talk to people, and I've been missing that. I've been missing human interaction. Me and my wife have been in the house for a few months now, and it ain't bad. I love my wife. We've been spending a lot of great time together, and it's nice to have some time off, but I crave that human interaction. I want a good conversation with someone that I don't know, that I could kind of dive into. And since I haven't been able to do that these past, I think it's like maybe 9 weeks now or some shit, 8 or 9. I didn't even count, but I've been doing research-based episodes, I've been doing episodes about, just random shit that I've been curious about, whether it be UFOs, cults, pyramid schemes, Nikola Tesla, just random shit that I would be interested in. I've talked about it on here before. I'm a naturally inquisitive person, but I feel that I wasn't in my youth whenever things were important. Whenever I was going through school, I didn't learn a lot of things, but now I just, I yearn for new things. I want to just learn about things. I want to learn about people. I want to understand different things. I want to just go deeper with stuff. And, I've been doing it with these research podcasts, and it really seems like everyone loves them. I get DMs all day of people telling me that they love it. The UFO one was probably my most reviewed podcast. So, people really loved it. They loved hearing other people's stories on the phone and the other snippets of their stories that I put in there. But, I really, I'm thankful for my podcast. I really am thankful for the way it is turning out, the opportunities that I've been given, and the people that, you guys that listen to it. You know what I mean? I'm just some random ass dude, and I'm nowhere where I would like to be, but I mean, it's just nice to be able to see the numbers still growing. It's nice to be able to see the reviews keep coming in. It's nice to see, people buying stuff. People asking me about merch, people asking me about, upcoming episodes. That shit makes me feel so good. And, this week I was trying to decide what topic I wanted to start to research. And, I got a list of random ass shit. But, with all the stuff that's going on in the world, I don't know, man. My heart's been feeling heavy for the world. I mean, if you are not living under a rock, what's going on with, all the protests for George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement and, the voting that's been, the election that's coming up. And, I felt that, I struggle on here with what to talk about. And I don't usually touch on politics. I don't touch on really, really heavy, current event matters because, my thought behind that is, who am I to comment on things like that? That's my original thought. My original thought is, I don't know anything about it. I don't want to speak out of school. But, and my original thought that is, I want to provide something that kind of gets people away from the reality of what's going on in the world. And a podcast episode is a hour plus, however long, escape from reality, kind of. That's how I always looked at podcasts whenever I listened to them. And I had some people message me and ask if I was going to talk about what was going on in the world. And at first I was like, no, there's no way I could, comment on it because, and it's not that I didn't want to offer my opinions. It's just, I don't know if people want to hear an opinion of a privileged white kid. You know what I mean? It's hard to talk about it. And, the more and more I think about it, the more and more, I realize that people do listen to the podcast. People do listen to what I say, kind of. And, I feel that it would almost do more of a disservice to not take some time to talk about what's going on in our world. I'm part of America. I'm part of our community. I'm one of the people in my community, and I want to do, whatever I can to, kind of do what I can. And like I said, I'm a fucking privileged white kid. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's like to be a person of color. I don't know what it's like to be racially profiled. I don't know what it's like to have to be fearing for your life. I don't know what that's like. And that's what made me kind of want to stay away from the topic because what am I going to say that's going to speak on the Black Lives Matter movement? What am I going to say? What do I know? I don't know shit. I've never been profiled. I've never been, completely disrespected by a police officer just because of the color of my skin. It's, if anything, I've had it work to my benefit, and I know that, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up in McKeesport. I went to McKeesport High School, or I went to McKeesport School District until I was in 7th grade. I didn't have to go through, the adulthood in the McKeesport School District or living over there, but I was friends with people who did, and I saw things that were not right. I saw the way that people, I physically have, with my two own eyes, have seen cops disrespect my black friends who were just, great people. Like, they're just people, but I couldn't imagine that there was anything I could say that was going to help speak on the topic. And like, I really don't have an idea of what this whole podcast is going to be. Like, I don't, and I also, my whole thought behind this is like, there ain't nothing more gross in the world than seeing people use ridiculous situations in history to benefit themselves. I saw videos on Twitter and shit of these like Instagram influencers taking photos of like jumping out of a car, taking a photo at a protest, and then leaving immediately, or jumping out of a car. And I saw some stupid bitch jumped out of this car, asked this business owner who was drilling wood panels over their windows to have the drill in her hand to get her boyfriend to take a picture. And after that, she got into her Mercedes SUV. And I think those people are the worst, shittiest people in the world. People that use religion to gain a following on Instagram. People who exploit dumbass shit. And I feel like that, if I didn't know, like how could I talk about this stuff authentically and real without without people seeing that, or without people wanting to believe that I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't even know if I should put this episode out. It's just like, but I feel it's important. You know what I mean? I feel it's important to acknowledge what's going on in the world. And, as far as, voting, as far as, racism, as far as like, the present day shit that's happening, like literally as we speak with, all the George Floyd stuff. And it's just like, it's a real shame that it's 2020 and there's still videos of cops blatantly being horrible human beings to people because of their skin color. You know what I mean? And it's horrible to see videos of cops killing people just because of their skin color. And I know it's a touchy subject. You know what I mean? I know that people are up in arms. Like, there's people putting their lives on the line down there, protesting their beliefs. And like, and I didn't go down. I'm real with everyone about stuff. I didn't go down to the protest. It's not that I didn't want to. I just didn't go down because, I really have been social distancing from people. And there was a fuckload of people down there. But that's neither here nor there. But I just wanted to give my feelings about what's going on in the world. And, I don't even know how to do that really. I wish that I had more of an understanding on what it's like to be a person of color and to know what they deal with, what they have to deal with, And I'm just so, I've never talked about like politics on here because, I'm just uneducated. I'm super uneducated on everything. I try to educate myself, you know what I mean? Like politics is that's a perfect example. So politics, for instance, like I have never, ever gave a fuck about politics, never paid attention to it, never even, I've never even watched the news before. And I just felt that what was the reasoning? I don't even know what the reasoning. Maybe it was laziness. Maybe it was just like, I wasn't interested in it. Maybe it's because I wasn't an adult yet that had to realize what the political system is and like the benefits it could potentially have as I'm a citizen. It's our right to vote. And before I kind of just like went past that. I just threw that. I threw that idea away. I was like, fuck voting. Like, I don't know anything about either party. And like, that was my mindset. My mindset was that I was so uneducated on both sides that I felt that my vote I felt that my vote should not be utilized for one side or the other because I don't know everything about that side. If I hear one person say that they were pro legalization of marijuana, that's one like if you think of it as a scale, a scale, one of them old school scales that you put things on each side of them, and like a triple beam scale. One side of that scale is going to weigh into my favor if they support something that I agree with. You know what I mean? If they say, we want to legalize marijuana and benefit from the money that could be made from it, that's a highlight to me. It could be insurmountable amounts of money made from that. But that person who supports that could have 1,000 other things that I do not agree with. So, it's completely on the other side. It's like both candidates could have things that I agree with, but have 100 things that I disagree with. And I just did not know the beliefs of everyone. I did not understand politics. I did not understand, and I still don't really, but, I have been paying attention more. In the past, like, I'd say probably 5 years, I've been paying attention. I've been seeing what's going on. And I guess it's ever since Donald Trump got elected, and I realized like what a clown show this government is. It's kind of wild. You know what I mean? Like, so I started paying attention, and yesterday was the first time I ever voted in my life, and I felt proud to vote, and I felt regretful that I have not voted in the past. But I mean, that's history. I can't dwell on that. I was uneducated. I was ill-informed. I just didn't think of it in that way. But now I understand that, voting is where it all starts. Whether your argument is, there's 1,000 conspiracies of things set up, whatever. But in the beginning, it's like we are an American citizen and we have the right to vote. And that's a big deal. And I don't know why it took me, 25 years to understand how important it is to, offer your support to getting someone new in office, if that's your choice, or keeping someone in office, if that's your choice. Like, I don't give a fuck what you believe in. I obviously believe in what I believe in, but who am I to say what anyone should believe in? But I feel that it definitely is valuable for us to vote. And I know it feels gross for me to talk about voting like it's so important, and I've never done it before. But like, I don't know, dude. Shit's getting crazy out there. It's a scary world we're living in. Like, weird shit's happening. People are on lockdowns, they're bringing military in on these protests. And granted, like, that's a whole different topic. Who am I to say how far someone should push the envelope to make their point? You know what I mean? You see people down there looting, breaking windows, doing all this stuff. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to be a person of color. And it's hard for me to even like kind of speak on it, but I can only offer my opinion about it. But if you don't know what happened to George Floyd, then I don't understand where you've been the past, week. But he was just murdered by a cop, and it's a reoccurring situation in America. that we keep seeing over and over and over again, that there's just videos of white cops killing black people, not treating them as they should be treated, not treating them equal, not treating them, with the same respect that you would treat everyone. And there was a video that came out probably, I don't know, maybe 10 days ago or something like that. I don't know the exact date, but it's a video of a cop, kneeling on this dude's neck for several minutes. And he ended up dying, and it's a fucked up video. It really is fucked up. And there's just cops standing behind this guy, watching him kneel on this guy's neck. And it's heavy to watch, dude. It's heavy. And it's heavy to understand that is something that could happen in the world. And it's scary. You know what I mean? It's scary. And it's scary that, that you could think about that there's people that are police officers that are utter scum, filth, fucking terrible humans. Like that guy. And I don't even want to say his name because he's a fucking piece of shit, but that guy will get dealt with in his own means. Karma will be around for him. But, it's a very, very weird thing, police. I don't know how I feel about it. I know that there's people that are like, fuck all the police, fuck this, fuck that. All cops are bad. And, I get it. I get what you're saying. But, in this time of all this negative media that we see right now, there's also, you see with all the trash, with all the terrible garbage shit that is being shown of all the negativity, whenever you see a positive video, that that really cuts through all the rest of that negativity for even just a brief second. And there's, videos of police officers that are good people that are really moved about the protests and about the way that America is responding. And there's people quitting their jobs as police officers to make a stand against all this shit. And, it's pretty interesting to see. And it's pretty fucked up to think about, that to be a white person, it's just in my mind, I've always been treated this way. I've always, have felt, safe. You know what I mean? Like I was really trying to think about this before I started recording, because I didn't know how I was going to do an episode about this. I didn't know where it was going to go. And I kind of just wanted to have it. I wanted to be able to be kind of vulnerable with it and just talk how I feel. But it's whenever I was growing up, I never felt I never felt unprotected by the police. And I think it's because I was a white person. You know what I mean? I never felt like I was in danger by a police officer. If anything, we're taught that police is there to protect you. But, over the years, there's just with the advance in technology and all the cameras and shit like that, there's so many videos of all these terrible, horrible situations. And you start to see that there's a reoccurring trend, and it usually involves people of color. And I feel that it's my duty to recognize that is a reoccurring trend, and that is something that's fucked up in the world that's happening. And I see, and nowadays with all this shit that's happening right now with the protests and with the killing and everything like that, and social media is such it's such a perfect storm of just shit. You see the true colors of people with social media. You read through what people how they feel about certain situations, and you could see if people were pieces of shit or not. And this is the best time for you to realize that if someone on your social media that you have been friends with starts speaking all recklessly, talking out of the side of their neck about this shit, just say fuck them and just cut them out of your life. There's no there's no positivity from this, from the fucked up way people are handling this. You know, I get that there's a big argument around these protests, and, you know, I don't disagree with the protests. By all means, protest the fuck out of everything. But so I'm trying to be like, I try to see the side of each coin with people. You know, I try to see both sides of the argument. One of the main arguments that I've seen on the people that are against the protesting is everyone's bringing up the fact that people are looting and people are breaking businesses and things like that. And I understand that. I really don't understand the looting end of it all. You know, I think it's kind of like, I think it kind of takes away from what it is. I think it would be more powerful if people, you know, I understand people wanted to wreck buildings and shit like that. I get it. I don't know how, you know, I don't know. I guess it's all situational because, like, I see, you know, someone who wrecks a Target, like, to me, fuck it. Target got insurance. Target got money. You know, wreck that fucking Target. If people weren't wrecking these buildings and shit like that, do you think that that guy would have got convicted of murder? If people were not up in arms, causing the ruckus that they're doing, lighting the world on fire, do you think that that guy would have got convicted? You know, it's just like, I try to think about that because I know that it's happened hundreds of times in the last years. But it's like, you know, if there wasn't the response like it was, I think that they said there was protests in all 50 states. All 50. And I mean, if you think, like, if people did not do what they did and get as crazy as they did, do you think that there would be the response that there was? You know, and I'm kind of just like talking through all this stuff, you know, figuring it out as I go. But, you know, I can understand that. I can understand people going down and busting out windows of a Target and shit like that. But what I don't understand is, like, people, like, there's a store called Social Status in the city, which is like a streetwear store. And I don't know. I don't know why this came up to me, but, like, I go in there and I see people stealing like Jordans and shit like that from in there. And, like, I don't know. I don't agree with that. I don't understand that. I feel like that the people that, you know, are doing these protests, they have it, that they're doing it for the right reasons. They have it in their heart for being good. Like, they have good in their heart. They have hate in their heart for people that is causing them to do this, to stand in front of a line of SWAT shooting rubber bullets and tear gas at them. But, you know, and like, I'm all for that. You know, I want all them to, I want all them to be able to do this and speak their voice and make their point safely and not be hurt. But I just really don't understand the people that are, like, running into stores just stealing shit. You know, it's taking away from everything. You know, I don't understand, you know, I really don't understand, like, you know, I don't know. It's a hard topic because, like, I try to see people's explanations for both sides of it. And I see some people speaking out about, like, how, you know, destroying your city does nothing of positive, does no positive, it creates no positive effort at all. You know, you destroying buildings and shit like that in downtown Pittsburgh, I don't know if, you know, I see people arguing both ways about it. I see people of color arguing both ways about it. My opinion, though, it's just like, who the fuck am I to say anything about it? I don't think people should be, you know, stealing shit, but, you know, I don't know if people just sitting somewhere is going to make, you know, make that impact that it did when people start, you know, kind of fucking some shit up. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have an opinion about it. I feel like I can't have an opinion about it because, like, I don't know what it's like. You know, I do have an opinion about, you know, all the white people down there that are just like, you know, like that fucking dude who started fucking up that cop car. He was just a white kid, 20-year-old white kid from, like, Shaler. And, like, I don't really understand that. You know, I feel like that all this craziness in the world right now, I feel like that people are, you know, that there are some people that are doing it, like, I feel like that there are some people that are doing it they're taking advantage of these like moments where, these gatherings, and they're doing shit for the wrong reason. And like, then you start seeing all the weird conspiracy videos of like cops putting out like mountains of bricks and like, cops like blocking people off from getting home during curfews. And, it's just really scary because like, you don't know what to believe. You know what I mean? It's like, there's videos of cops pulling bricks out of their fucking car. There's videos of cops like trying to force weapons in people's hands. There's videos of cops like just kicking people and doing fucked up out of pocket shit. And you're like, what is going on? And it's like, is breaking a couple windows too far? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm seeing videos of people getting shot with rubber bullets. You have people that are, huge celebrities paying money, donating money, crazy money to get people who are protesting out of jail. I saw a bunch of people doing that shit. And it's just like, this is all still going on really. Like there's still riots every day right now. Well, not riots. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say riots, but there's protests every day now. And it's just like, I don't know. I just don't know about it. Like, it's going to be, that dude should definitely be put to death. The cop who killed George Floyd deserves to die, plain and simple. That was too much. Any cop that does this shit, it's fucked up because like cops kill people and they just get put on paid administrative leave. You know what I mean? Like, that's fucking crazy to me. This dude is about to get fucking, something's going to happen. I heard that this guy went to his house immediately. Obviously, everyone found out where this dude lived. There was like hundreds of police officers outside of this guy's house, like, I guess, protecting his house. And there was just hundreds of people like going there to try to like drag this motherfucker out of the street and beat him to death. I feel people would have definitely done that. But, and then I hear that this guy goes to Florida to like his second home or whatever, and people are traveling down there to get him. And it's like, man, this is just one occurrence right now. Like there's so many of these occurrences happening right now. And then I see these idiots on Facebook that are saying like, well, it's a fact that white males are a higher number to be killed by police than black males. I'm reading these like pieces of shit on Facebook that have like, a golden retriever with a Make America Great Again hat on as their profile pictures. Like, first of all, get fucked. But like, for that argument is stupid as hell. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Those are the numbers, but like, you don't know what the situation is. There could be, 10 cases of white people getting crazy, pulling guns on cops where they get killed. And I mean, like, I want to know the situation of the whole interaction. Like, if you think about this, I try to put myself in the shoes of a person of color. And like, I try to, but you never could, no one could ever understand what it would be like. But, let's say a cop pulls you over, immediately comes up to you and just already is disrespecting you, already treating you different. It's hard for someone to respect someone and keep their composure if someone's treating you like a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And that's just the way that I kind of have been thinking about it. I've been thinking about this shit all week because it's obviously what's going on in our world. And, it hurts my feelings for people that I know who are, people of color that have children, that, people that are raising boys in this world and girls in this world. And it's just like, it's so, I don't know, dude, it's 2020 and this shit is still going on. It's been going on for fucking ever. And it's just like, come on, like, what do we have to do? Like, what do we have to do to kind of fix this and, to kind of make shit okay. And I mean, if there's someone that's like listening that, is, if a person of color wants to, come and talk to me, I mean, like, and just, talk about this whole situation, like, please hit me up. Like, I would love to speak with you about it. I want to learn, like, I want to know, I want to do whatever I can to, be a part of this. But it's like, I just felt that it would be, why put out an episode this week on some dumbass shit of me like researching, different fucking breads or some shit like that. I couldn't think of anything else this week. It's like, I bought a bike and I've been riding my bike a lot. And I rode through the city the other day and I wanted to see what was going on because I was watching live videos during these protests and it's fucking insane. And I was going down there and I was riding around and I was seeing windows that were boarded up and shit. And it's just like, it's wild that this is going on in our world right now. And I really hope that, something happens. And I feel like the only way for things to happen is to get out there and vote. And, again, I was someone who never did. I never thought that anything mattered with politics. I was like, fuck that. I basically was just like, ignorance is bliss. But, that ain't right. Ignorance is bliss. Bliss is fine, but like, that's not reality. That's the real shit about it. It ain't reality. We have to do something, with our legal system, with our, the only way things are going to get better, it's fucked up because the things with cops right now, shit's just going to keep getting worse with cops because, people were creating this divide with police, which is, warranted for sure. But like the only way that that's going to stop is like by getting good people behind the badge that are truly good people and getting all these like, these fucking, people that have the wrong feelings and the wrong thoughts and the wrong beliefs out of these positions. You know what I mean? We have to do that. We have to get that. We have to phase that shit out and get these people out of there and get better people in there. And I think that, I hope that things are happening. I hope that it will happen. I think that with our youth, I was trying to think about this the other day, like with how many people I saw down there protesting, like there was a fuckload of people. And I think that with social media, it's just providing us with a real look at what's going on. And I think that it's giving people a different voice. Obviously, there's people that are pieces of shit that use it to their advantage and, manipulate it for the wrong reasons. But, social media is definitely, letting us see fucked up things and giving us a voice and being able to stand behind one another. And, cameras are life changing. Like everyone got a camera in their hand. If there's any sort of confrontation at all, people immediately put that camera on. And it's like, you have to now almost in today's world, it's like, you have to do that. And, so yesterday there was that Blackout Tuesday where people, posted a black image on their Instagram and it was basically to acknowledge and kind of block out the regular minuscule everyday things and there was controversy about like whether it was the right thing to do or not, and whether people should do it, whether it was hurting the movement or in fact like helping it. And I could see both sides. I posted one and I kind of just offered a summary, just explanation, just a second of my thought about it. And I just felt that obviously a black square on Instagram ain't doing nothing for no one. I get that. I understand. But, I feel that, saying something, letting people read what you think and people seeing enough of these people, having the same opinions. Like there might be someone that you're swaying back to, the right side of things. You know what I mean? And the whole rub against this whole thing was that people were hashtagging Black Lives Matter under this black square. And in turn, if people were going under that hashtag and looking at that, it was just all black images, like just black squares. So people were saying they were silencing the media, but in turn, like there was people saying that was like, clogging up the feed, that was not allowing the right important information to be processed as it should be. So I guess people just changed their hashtag to Blackout Tuesday. So in order to find the information you needed to about all the protests, about everything, you were able to go under the Black Lives Matter hashtag, click on it, and then see all this, like whether it be, the videos of all the corruption in the police force right now, whether it be all the, the fucked up stuff that's happening during these protests, whether it be it's just, information on protests and everything. It's just, I don't know, guys. The only thing I do know is that, we got to do something. Something needs to change. I don't know what, I want to do more. Please let me know what I could do. The first thing I started to do that I really was understanding was that there was going to be a lot of people going to jail for protesting. A lot of people were going to be getting arrested for speaking out on their beliefs. And, I feel that, I feel that those people should not be penalized and should not have to sit in jail for going down there and, speaking about a cause. So I donated to the Pittsburgh Freedom Fund, PGH. Let me make sure that this is right. So there's different organizations you could donate to that help out people. And I donated to the Bukit Bail Fund. And if you look at it, it's BUKITBAILFUND.org. Or you could go on Venmo and at PGH Freedom Fund, all one word. And the Bail Fund is a coalition that provides financial support to those incarcerated at Allegheny County Jail. It's named for Frank Bucket. Yeah, Bucket, I guess it is. Bucket Bail Fund. Sorry, I said it wrong. It's named for Frank Bucket Smart Jr., who died after jail staff placed restraints on him while he was having a seizure. Bail funds ensure that people aren't stuck in jail for a long time just because they can't afford to leave. And there's so many different organizations and things that you could donate to and, do to help out. And, I know that I'm not doing much, I know that, I don't know what it's like, I don't understand the pain that people have. I myself don't, but I could try to, and I could try to do whatever I can, whether it be, an episode about me, just talking my thoughts about it and my beliefs, who knows what I'm saying is, right at all. It's not right. It's just like, this is what I think. And it's just, I don't know. I felt it was important to kind of talk about it because, I didn't want to just put out another random episode to have someone just like kind of, getting away from this. This shit is important right now. Like this is really important and it's sad what's happening, and I know that there's people that are, taking away from the initiative in a negative way and, doing fucked up shit that is kind of tearing down what the people are building up. I just hope that, I don't know. I hope we can get some shit. I hope we can get some shit moving to kind of get some change. And, if you're out there and you know anything that I could do or talk about or talk to people that I could talk to, please reach out to me. I'm just out here trying to, educate myself and become a better human being. And, the only way people could progress in life is through, knowledge and experience. I feel that the only way that you get better in life and you progress in life and you learn and you grow in life is through knowledge and experience. And, what more can be said about it? I hope that people listen to this and kind of get an idea of I would like to say I'm a typical white person. I'm just a typical white person. I don't know what else to say really. I hope that this episode offers more positive than it does negative. And I hope that, people could kind of understand the way I kind of think about it. And I hope people can understand why I don't talk about politics usually. And, it's a hard thing to talk about. But just because something's a hard thing to talk about doesn't mean that it shouldn't be talked about. And, maybe someone's thoughts and beliefs could resonate with someone on a certain level, and that could change their mind and change their way of thinking. And if I could do anything to maybe do that positively, I hope that I'm able to. And I just hope that this is received in a way that people feel that I'm being genuine with this, because I really am. I really think things need to change, and I really hope they do. And I really hope people are being safe out there, and I really hope that, something happens with the police that, I know that it's going to take a long, long time. And I know that not all cops are bad. I know that you always see that hashtag under ICYRB. And, I've seen it as all cops are bastards, all cops are bad. But I know a couple cops who ain't really bad. But, Chris Rock had one of the best ways to, kind of think about this world and the actual idea of being a police officer. Now, again, this is from Chris Rock, and I think is fantastic. He says, here's the thing. I know it's hard being a cop. I know it's hard. I know that shit's dangerous. I know it is, okay? But some jobs can't have bad apples, okay? Some jobs, everyone gotta be good. Like pilots, American Airlines can't be like, most of our pilots like to land. We just got a few bad apples that like to crash into mountains. Please bear with us. And, I thought that was that's true, man. A person's life is not worth, or a person's life is worth more than, there got to be something with these cops. There got to be better vetting, got to be better training. There got to be some better process to make this, more safe for people, because, life is precious, life is priceless. And, it's fucked up to see a cop get away with some shit that they shouldn't have just because of a badge on their chest, because they're humans just like us. I know people from my high school that were the psychopaths at parties that are getting all fucked up that are police officers now, and it's weird to me to think about that. It's very, very bizarre to think about some of the people that are cops, because, we all know people in high school that have gone on to be police officers, and you're kind of like, how the fuck did that person become a cop? Why is that person a cop? And who knows? I don't talk to people a lot anymore from high school. I have my main core of friends, and the rest of the people could, go do whatever they need to do. But I don't know, man. Being a police officer should be a heavy process to be able to get into. We got to do better. things got to happen. We got to be better. I really appreciate everyone listening. I really appreciate everyone like kind of standing behind me with the podcast and, kind of backing me and always, listening and always doing what, supporting in any way you can. So, be safe out there. Thanks again. Call you right back.